of what we're going to start reforming and bringing back. A lot of you know it. This is your Giggity Get Down. This is your podcast. This is your recap through the week. Again, everybody knows my annoying voice. I am the one and only Puddin. Up here helping me out, as always, the CEO of GC Sports is the one and only Aqua Caddy. We have special guests this week. We got a lot of new formats that we're going to try working on. So stay tuned. I'm going to let Teddy explain some of them to you.
Yeah, so here at the GC Sports, I talk about it all the time, how we're about the community. We're not just about our league or our league's community, but in reality, we're about the Heat 5 as well as a lot of iRacing type stuff, the community of the support for racing. And so with that said, we have decided to bring in some special guests and talk about, I spoke last week in the next season's debut kind of podcast about, FTR, Billy Holcomb's league. We talked about JCR, their group. We talked about Fueled Up, Misfits, a couple other leagues, and how we support them. And so this week, not only are we going to talk about how we support them and give you GC Sports Weekend review rundown, but we're going to bring those guys in and kind of give you a rundown about those leagues. And so anybody watching or viewing, if you guys are interested in joining, not just GC Sports, but some of these other leagues, then we're all for it, and we want to support those guys best we can. And so this is, hopefully, it's going to be a weekend review of motorsports as far as console and iRacing are concerned.
I like it. And with that being said, we want to start off with our first guest.
Yeah, well, Billy's he said he needs a couple seconds, so we'll start elsewhere. JWoww, you got a copy?
Yeah, so you got me?
Yeah, I got you. Your voice is set to always loud, correct?
Yes.
All right, so as far as GC Sports is concerned, we have one of our drivers. He's in the C group right now, both the customs and the sliders, but he's working his way up the best he can. He runs with a group with a lot of people know McLovin. You may know Clashin, and you may know Titans. They all have the JCR title, but in the booth with us tonight, we have JCR. JWoww is back, and he's going to give you a recap of not just himself, but the whole team. This is the only team base that we're supporting at this point in time, simply because nobody else has come to us, but right, so JWoww, go ahead and give us kind of a weekend recap for the JCR clan.
Yeah, last week we started off with the C Customs and C Sliders at Las Vegas. Started off the first race, C Customs. I believe I started on pole. Clashin was up there, and McLovin as well. It was more about patience getting to the first stop, and me and McLovin made our way through the field after pit stops, but then coming down to the last one, McLovin ended up speeding, so ended up getting me the win. So it was just that battle just got away. And coming to the C Sliders, it was a 1-2-3 finish for JWoww, me, Clashin, and McLovin. But it was real close though. We almost didn't get 1-2-3 because there was I forgot his name. He was running in second, I believe, and ended up getting a tire going down at the end on the very last lap, which ended up opening the door for that 1-2-3 finish. Then end up going to the Nascar Weekend, Nascar race on Mondays. We got Iowa and Talladega. We had a usual rivalry with me and Flash. We always run about 1-2-3 every race, and it was coming down to the last couple laps. Some lap traffic got in the way a little bit. Flash ended up getting that win out of there. Then the very next race, we went to Talladega. Ended up winning stage 1. Stage 2, I think Flash got it. Then coming down to the third stage, me and Clashin were working down at the end. I think we were about P7, P8, and some traffic got in the way. Ended up tail whipping Clashin to the pits, and Team Orders got him to come up to the field and started drafting me, and big controversy because some people thought that he was just there to block, but no, he was just there to push me, and ended up creating a way for me to get the win. And it created a lot of hot heads after that race, but it seemed like it tailed down at the end. Coming into this next Monday, let's see, well, yeah, we had the B Customs coming up. We had it at Phoenix. I ended up making my way up to the B Customs race because gotten that win at the Las Vegas and the C Customs. It was a close race. I won stage one. Me, Doha Jr., Country Caliber. There's another driver out there. We were just really under a blanket the whole race. And coming to that last pit stop, I think Country Caliber had the lead. I was right behind him in second. He pitted one lap earlier, and I pitted a lap after him. And I believe Doha Jr. pitted a lap after me. And I believe I had like a 15.6 pit stop. And Country Caliber he said he had like a 16.8, which is very bad. I mean, it was hard to pass all day. Got out of the pits, ended up taking the lead, and that was just how it was after that race. We were all just about 5/10 with each other for the last 30 laps or so, and there was no like to get comfortable at all during that race. And I kept telling my teammates out there, I was like, that was probably one of the hardest races I've probably ever ran, because you just had to be perfect almost every lap, and almost ended up costing me the win at the end. I got loose at it coming out of the last couple turns, and believe Doha Jr. had a good run, but he tried to pull a little Kyle Larson right in the wall at the end, but I guess it ruined his momentum. Ended up getting the win there, which advanced me to the A Customs race at Talladega. We didn't really have much help there. I tried with Marley at the beginning. I believe we weren't up front all day. Pit stops was the main key. And the last stage, we come into the pit stops. We had, I believe, me, Marley, Sludge, and I think it was Billy. I think it was Billy. We were coming out of the last pit stop. It was us four with about 8 to go, and a caution ended up coming out for, I don't know what happened, and bunched us all back together. And end up getting out of the line with about 2 to go. That was my bad. That was my mistake. I don't even know what I was doing right there. End up throwing me to the back. I don't even know where I finished. But we're gonna have to work our way back up to the A Customs race again. Coming into the C Customs and C Sliders at this week, we have at Bristol. It's gonna be a tough race because there's no cautions and it's 25%. And we did the math. There was only one pit stop, I believe, and there's just going to be a lot of lap traffic in the way. And it's usually about that long run lap traffic ratio you got to work through throughout the whole race. So that's what Team JCR is going to be expecting for coming up this tonight, actually. Yes.
Yeah, actually, so JCR becomes the first team to sweep a 1-2-3 finish in the C side of the league. We have a group, GTR. They've swept our B group, and they've finished top 3 in the A group, but yet they have not swept a race in the B group. So that, of course, is remarkable. And JWoww, you become the second person ever to get 3 wins back-to-back races in starts for the GC. Now you're one race shy of the record there, as Private Patton did get 4 race wins in a week. If you include he won both the C groups, ended up winning the B Sliders and the A Customs, so 4 races straight for him. He ended up winning, so you ended up 1 race short of that. But as always, the JCR group in general, is one of, if not the most dominant forces in the NASCAR Heat 5 console.
Yeah, it took a while to get to where our team caliber got to. It's just me and Clashin, we ended up just racing in FOR group. That's how we met. We actually ended up as rivals because he ended up wrecking me at one race, on our first couple races in FOR. And we come into later in the second season, FOR, we made our team JCR, JWoww, and Clashin Racing. And along the way, we met McLovin. We knew he was fast. We knew he was very consistent throughout any race he has. He was consistent at ovals, short tracks, road courses. And we're like, it would be perfect to get him on our team. And he was the first outside car to get into our team. And he's really like an ambassador for our team because he's like very likable from all perspectives from all around the Heat 5 group.
Well, and I don't know about all that. I'm just kidding. Of course, I love McLovin. McLovin's a good guy.
Yeah,
he's a great
McLovin's
guy.
a very guy.
Horrible to race with. Great guy. And Clashin is crashing. That's what I used to call him. But JWoww, always had a lot of respect for you, and honestly, the whole JCR group in whole. Guys, I'm hearing a little bit of echo in the background. Are one of you guys playing the stream, or that might just be me? Actually, it don't even matter really. All right, so that's the JCR section. We're gonna call that one a do. JWoww, of course, every week. Hopefully we can get one of your JCR guys up here to kind of give us a weekend recap. But by the sounds of it, you guys had a great week and looking to move forward into having another great week starting here tonight with the GC Sports races at Bristol. But like you said, qualifying is going to be huge there. As if you get caught mid-pack with 20 plus cars, no cautions, that's going to be a feat to be seen.
Oh yeah. Qualifying is going to be key. Getting around lap traffic, and especially on that long run, people are going to get loose, people are going to get wrecking, and you're just going to have to suck it up and avoid and all that. And we really hope for a successful week again. Maybe get a couple drivers to win tonight and advance to the B Custom B sliders and then the A Custom A sliders.
Yeah, I think one thing that's intriguing with that is for the viewers at home, if these guys do advance, they don't get to just run, tonight is Bristol for the C group, but it's not Bristol in the B group, and it's not Bristol in the A group either. So this isn't just one of those scenarios where they get to advance and run the same track that they've already practiced at all week. It's if they advance, they got to work on another setup for tomorrow night. So it's really hard to do. I know that you guys have a lot of iRacing stuff going on as well as that, so good luck throughout the rest of the week.
All right, thank you, Taddy.
Absolutely, man. All right, putting over to you on the JCR recap there. How you liking that JCR team? And sounds like they had one heck of a week, huh?
It's to be expected from a team that puts in so much time and preparation. Like I said, McLovin, he's a great guy. He used to always be my kryptonite when I was racing with him. Those guys put in their time. And I mean, as a lot of people do, especially with setups, it's like you can put a setup in. Like I could put one of my setups in right now, and it probably wouldn't run worth blankety blank because of everybody else keeps tweaking and working on it. And it sounds like JCR never gives up. They always find a way to get competitive and work their way. And, I like their patience on how to work their way back through the field if something happens to them too. They don't get pissed off and lag out magically or something.
I don't know how I always get mad. So now here on the Giggity Get Down, what I want to do is give a quick recap of, so between our guests, I want to give a quick recap of how our week went. We're going to start with the C group now, then we'll get into the next league conversation. But JWoww kind of hit it on the head there in the C Customs, which is they're going to be racing tonight around 6 o'clock. Last week's winner at Las Vegas was JWoww himself, followed by Memphis, Phoenix, and Old Johnny Boy. Those guys were your top three finishers. And let me pull up the points here real quick. Actually, never mind, I don't have them right offhand. But right, so that's your C Custom finish. And then he kind of talked about how in the C Sliders, it became the first time ever that that one team dominated the top three, as JWoww ended up with the win. McLovin in second, and Clashin got third place in the C group. That was at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. So good run, good show from those guys. The next league I want to showcase here is actually not in the chat. We don't have a person in the chat with us, but Misfits Racing League, run by a good friend of mine from back when I was a child. Matty Godet is his name, and Matty Ice is his PSN. RKM runs the league over there with Matty, and they have a dirt side as well that my brother, actually, Travis, on Facebook is Travis Tatterall because he doesn't know how to spell his own last name, but it's Travis Tattersall, aka Batman Pew Pew for those that know his PSN. Again, it's Misfits Racing League. They're known as MRL. So I'm going to they kind of give me a couple paragraphs of what they have. So I'm going to read per what they wrote me on their recap. So MRL has knocked down the first quarter of the season 4 on Heat 5. Season 4 on Heat 5. The Cup Series has seen 4 different winners in Old Guy at Daytona, Blowing Piff 420 at Richmond, Arkham wins Atlanta, and the Mills is back recently, and he wins at Pocono. The top top 5 in points so far in their Cup Series: Old Guy, Turnover, Piff, NB, and Maniac. Their Xfinity Series has seen 3 different winners in the first 4 races. I myself, Aqua Tatty, run there full time, and I've taken half of them.
Quite a bit too. It's a fun group.
Well, I'm talking about in the Xfinity Series, right? That's the only series there I'm running full time. Yeah, that's on Wednesdays. I race there, and they have. I took Daytona in an Auto Club. G Prix won Atlanta on a fuel race, and Jamie, the guy that wrote me all this, he won Bristol. Lucky guy. The top 5 in points there are myself, Aqua Tatty, Piff, Dave, Jamie, and NB. And then the Truck Series has also seen 3 in the last 4, and Piff winning at Canadian Tire in Chicagoland. Matty Ice wins at Daytona, and Millsy wins at Martinsville. Top 5 in points there are Piff, Jamie, Maniac, Matty, and Dave. That's on the asphalt side of their league. Now they also have a dirt series, and when I say dirt series, they use a bunch of different games. They use Tony Stewart's sprint cars as well as, and All-American, as well as SRX. So I say dirt, but they have their super late models, which is asphalt. They've seen 4 different winners, with Batman at Chestnut, Wet Yard at Lucas Oil, Asymmetric at Eastern Hills, and Bailey at Nashville. Top 5 in points there are as follows: Batman, Bailey, Asymmetric, Memory of Red, and Piff. More coming. He says, let's see, Emerald Dirt League gets started on their season tonight with the Legends and 305 Sprints. I have a schedule. I'm not really going to get into that, but this last Friday night, which is when they run their super late models, it was a good time. I wasn't there. This was the first race I've missed on the season, but the finish was Batman in Memory of Red and Asymmetric at Chestnut County. Batman nudged Symmetric going into 3 and moved him up to get by, and Red was able to also squeeze by, and that major finishing order as such. As Asymmetric led most of the race, Batman did end up coming home victorious. So League CEO, as far as the dirt side is concerned, ends up coming home victorious. And that's going to do it there for the Misfits Racing League side of it. So, Buden, what do you think? You talked about how you've run over there, and they are a bunch of good guys. And they offer a lot Monday through Friday worth of racing. So it's some pretty good stuff. Buden?
Sorry, Frank was barking. Frank.
I'm hoping Frank is not your other persona.
No, that's no. I have many personas, but Frank's not one of them.
Sorry, of course, that was fun. Alright, so yeah, as I said, so you've run with the Misfits. I race with the Misfits. They're a good group of guys. Not quite, not bad-mouthing them, but they're not as
it's
competitive.
It's a league in my eyes. And that's why I love it so much. I mean,
yeah, they're not as
there's serious in this. There's points behind it, but everybody can get in there, laugh, and joke around. So I haven't raced with them for a long time. I'm still in the chats because I know so many of those guys, especially from back in the Giggity days, like you said with RKM and Natty and them. But man, it is a fun, downright league. They're always looking for people, and it's a good laugh too when you get in there with RKM and Matty.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are fast. They're not no slouches. They're just not. They don't look at it on the competitive end. They're not like if you don't win the race there, you don't go home upset. You know, if you were leading with 5 to go and end up like popping a tire, you laugh about it. You don't get mad about it, and it's a good time. It's a fun group of guys.
Loved it.
On that note, I want to get into our B group from this past week. Probably Your Dad, Long Live the Sauce, and Memory come home top 3 in the B Slider series. These guys are all getting ready to, unlike the C group, our B group does have playoffs, right? So big difference there. Playoff drivers for that series are going to be Probably Your Dad, Spanker, Hamilton, T-Bird, Memory, Sauce, Brett the Jet, Tackleberry, Old Guy, and Brinkerhoff. Those guys all getting ready to go after it this week. And then, of course, in the B Custom Series, our top 3 finishers, JWoww talked about it. Not only did he win the Customs in C, but he got to join the B group. He won that race and made his way into the A group, which he did not win, unfortunately. But Daha Jr. and Country Caliber round out your podium finishes for the B Customs. And they're also getting ready to enter the playoffs this week. And 10 drivers enter that, which would be Private Patton leading the way, Daha Jr., Country Caliber, DB the Best, Guardian, Jose, Tiller, Street Machine, Long Live the Sauce, and Travis Tyson. Those guys are all advancing, but Private Patton, although he has the most playoff points entering this race, will not be there this week. Neither will DB the Best. So 8 spots open for grab. 2 guys are going to be missing. Most likely they'll be the 2 eliminated, but remind you that set in the playoffs here, so the other 8, even though they're all going to advance, really have to set the precedent now that they're looking for that title and get as many points as they possibly can.
Yep, Anytime you get a chance that somebody may not be there, hopefully everything's all right with them too. But it is somebody. Your fortune is somebody else's misfortune, and that's how it sometimes happens. That you can squeak up a spot or two, get locked into a very important playoff.
Yep. All right. With that said, here in the booth we have another special guest for you. He drives the number 37 in GC Sports. He is your reigning, defending A Custom Series Talladega race winner, Billy Holcomb, owner and operator of the FTR Racing League. He's going to give us a weekend review here for the FTR Racing League. So go ahead, Billy. Over to you.
All right, thanks, buddy. Thanks, Taddy, for having me. Just want to say thanks to you for all you do for the community with GC Sports. You guys do a great job every week, and we really appreciate that. Just kind of recap the week. You know, last week we ran our last race of the regular season. We headed to Kansas Motor Speedway. We got two leagues currently. We got an A league and a B league. B league, we've seen some great, probably one of the best races I've witnessed all season. These guys have really put on a great show every week. They seem to be getting better every week, and that's what we want. JD was able to capture that victory last week. He's been kind of on a hot streak here lately. You know, he's won 5 races this season. He's been doing a really good job over there, and he's kind of one of our captains over there, and he keeps kind of things in line for me. So he's doing a great job as well. In our A League, kind of about the same. You know, Sludge has been on a hot streak here lately. He's won like 4 of the last 5 races starting at Chicago, and I was able to steal one at Charlotte. Had a really good car, and it's been great, man. It's been a great week. It's kind of hyped up this week. We're heading into our first playoff race. We're going to head to Texas tonight, so I look for some exciting racing. Micah Edwards is our points leader coming into our B league. He's got a pretty hefty league with all the playoff points that he accumulated during the regular season. So he's going to lead us to green as the point leader. I think he's got a really good shot at winning the championship. You know, as long as he don't have any mechanical or electrical issues. You know, we got some guys right on his tail. You know, we got JD, we got Bronco. Those guys ain't gonna go down without a fight. So it's gonna be very interesting to see that tonight. And kind of like with the same with A, you know, tonight Sludge is going to be leading us to the green with the points lead. He's got about an 8-point lead on me right now. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Texas plays out tonight and see who can capture that point lead and that momentum going into race 2.
Now, do you think it's such a great idea to hold league racing on a night where there's 2 of the NFL championship games? Because there could be a lot of swervy people out there.
Yeah, you know, we kind of talked about that. You know, it's kind of falls in line. I'm trying to get this season done where we can get started for next season. We got some really good things coming up next season, and I know everybody's wanting to hold that championship at the very end of the year right here to get that momentum going into next year. But yeah, I know the games are going on, but we got racing to do, man.
Yeah, I like it. You know, so yeah, I mean, if it was me, you know, I would. I know I'd have my league and stuff. I'd still just take it a little cautious, be careful. Don't drink too much and then drive, since it's only a video game. So that's what it's like, right?
No DUI here.
To kind of tell you a little bit about FTR, you know, we started this thing.
I was going to ask you, can you explain a little bit about it?
We started this thing about 2 years ago, you know, with a handful of guys. I think we had like 6 or 8 guys, just guys getting together, just one day a week, just having fun, just throwing some points in there, and just having fun and being competitive and just trying to make each other better. You know, right now, leading in up to next season, we got 48 guys signed up on the roster for next season.
Holy cow.
It's I think we got like 46. We got 24 signed up on the roster next season for A League, and we got 22 guys signed up for our B League next season. So looking forward to it, man. Just looking forward to growing. Our A League is going to move to Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. if anybody's interested, and our B League is going to remain on Sunday nights at 7 p.m. So just looking forward to it, man. I could never imagine. I never imagined when we started this that we could get this big, and it kind of scares me a little bit, because I want, I try to promote great racing and try to be respectful, and that's what we try to do in here, and we're very family oriented. We all help each other, try to grow and get better as a group, and just having a blast, man. It's been fun. I got a great group of drivers, man, that's really came a long way, and we all pull together, and I'm very thankful for those guys, because they're the ones that make FTR what it is. I'm just a host. I'm kind of the glue that keeps everything together. So just very fortunate, man. I mean,
that's a heavy responsibility in itself.
Yeah, it's huge, man. I mean, I do a lot of stuff behind the scenes, and I gotta thank a few guys. War Racer, that's my partner in crime, man. He helps me a lot, man, tremendously, from the Facebook to chats to getting things going, and just really, really appreciative of him. Heavy Duty as well, he does a lot. Eagles, he does a lot. JD, he does a lot as well. So, plus all the drivers, man. I mean, it's all a group effort. I just try to provide the community with a great place to race and have fun and have a blast, and that's what we're all about.
That's what this whole thing is all about. That's what the Giggity Get Down here is all about. It's again, it's all about the support for each other and building a large community of friends, really. We're trying to diminish that toxicity that you're seeing between leagues versus leagues. And instead, we're trying to bring every league together and make it one big community. As the more we have drivers that run in FTR has drivers that run here in GC, and the more you run with each other and you decide to run, hey, I'm going to go run an FTR this week. That's great. The more on-track time you get with the different drivers, the more talent it's going to bring you as an individual. So, Billy, real quick, I want to get to, do you guys mandate the, right, because you guys have a different rule package than GC does, do you have, if a new driver comes in and say they're only able to race on Wednesdays, not Sundays, do you have it set where somebody has to start in your B series to make it to the A series, or how does that go about on advancing? And second part of that question, how does somebody get a hold of you guys to be able to join your league?
Okay, so first off, FTR welcomes everybody. What we try to do is, if I know you or somebody refers you, and I know that you're respectful, you can hold a line, that you drive clean and pretty quick.
So most of the
time I'll move you to A group to start off with, and just kind of do some evaluation for a couple races and just kind of see where you stack up. B League, mostly I try to start off everybody in the B League, and it's kind of the same situation. If you go into the B League, I'll put you in B League and you dominate for a couple races, then most likely I'm going to say, hey, can you advance up to A? Because what I try to do is make it competitive for everybody. I try to put guys of the same caliber together. That way it makes the racing better. It makes it more fun, because I don't want somebody in a group that's just constantly just getting killed every week. You know what I mean? So I try to place guys where I think their best fit would be. As far as like advancing, most of the time is what I did this season is I took the season champion from B League and advanced him to A group. What I'm planning, what I thought about doing this season, but I didn't do, but if we have another season, depending on the game, is our A League will be our elite series. So it'll be like the top 16 guys in A will remain in A, and then the rest will drop to B, and then the elite guys from the B, depending on if you're top 1, top 2, or 3, you can move to A. But I'm trying to separate the guys to make sure that we have the most competitive racing possible when everybody hits the racetrack.
Yeah, absolutely.
One-handed sniper out there in YouTube land. That's a name we haven't seen for a while.
Nubby.
Yeah, old Nubby. I got Nub. And then Thomas said you denied his application to FDR out there.
Hey, Crashing Clashing. It's hard to get accepted when that's your name is Crashing Clashing.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm
going to go to bat for you, Thomas, but with a name like Crashing Clashing, I'm sorry.
But if you are interested in joining, like I said, our Wednesday nights, our A League will start March 2nd, which is a Wednesday nights. We start at 8 o'clock. Our B League starts February 27th, I believe. That's on a Sunday night, or 29th. It's on a Sunday night. That'll be the first race. They start at 7 p.m. If you're interested, you can message me, _FTR, or War Racer 6216 _FTR, and we'll try to get you in.
Yeah, Billy's going to stick around here for a little while. He's actually said that he's going to stick around to the end of this as we do our Q&A section there for the YouTube and whoever there the last 5 minutes. But we're going to go ahead and move along, and Billy, you're actually going to be involved in this next section. I have now spoken about the C and the B group for GC Sports. We're now going to get into the A group, and then Hellraiser, you're still on the phone, so Blaney, you'll be the we're going to bring Fueled Up in next to kind of give your guys'.
I was just double checking.
Yeah, Hellraiser's on the phone. He messaged me, said he's on a phone call, so we're going to go with Blaney joined us, so he's going to be talking for the Fueled Up Motorsports. But a quick week in recap for the A group here in GC Sports. Of course, we start with the sliders first, and these guys have one race left before the playoffs now after this last week, and so Higgy knew he had 2 weeks getting ready to go into this series. He drives a 36 car, which, although it's a front row motorsports car, in this game for some reason it is hashtagged as a Rick Ware car. So because of that fact, he drives for Aquatati and the Rick Ware team. Now keep in mind the A group has teams, and so he really needed a lot of points as we're getting ready to make the playoffs. Only the top 10 in the playoffs make it. He not only won a stage, stage 1 he ran in the back the whole time. Stage 2 he won the stage. Stage 3 he ended up, and so Higgy comes home victorious with Private Patton, the team captain of the Penske car, and Warpig, following his Fueled Up second place finish on Monday, ended up with a third place finish at Talladega at another super speedway on Tuesday. So great job by him and great job by all those guys. And again, now that puts Higgy within 100 points of making the playoffs, but Las Vegas is a double points night this week, so as long as he has a good week, he should make himself into the playoffs pretty easily there on the slider side. We go to the custom side. Third place finisher, the Penske number 2 of Bad Fast Marley, worked his way from the back to the front. JTG team captain KB Showtime came home P2. And actually, Billy, I'm glad you're still in here, because with your first ever GC Sports victory, Billy Holcomb wins at Talladega on low draft at Talladega.
Oh man, I'll tell you, I had a blast, man. I was very stoked about getting my first win in here. I've tried so hard, man, but it's just sometimes Lady Luck just doesn't work out in my favor, and it kind of worked this week. Stage 1, I didn't have the best qualifying. I think I started like 7th or something. We took off, had a good run. I think I was running top 5, I believe, and kind of made a mistake going in pit road. Kind of got in there a little hot, and got a pit road penalty. That kind of got me down just a little bit, but I kept telling myself if I just put myself in position, I think I'll be just fine. Didn't get the greatest finish, I don't think, in the first stage. I think I was like top 10 maybe. Second stage rolled around. We took off. I kind of lost the draft a little bit. Got to thank my buddy Robbie for dropping back and picking me up. So he dropped back, picked me up, and then next thing I know, we're picking up one car here, one car there, and we kind of made up some ground. But I think I still kind of finished toward the back in the second stage. I think it was like 8th or 7th or something. And then third stage rolled around. I was like, you know what? I'm not losing the draft this time. We're gonna pedal to the metal, and we're gonna try to make something happen. And kind of worked my way up to like 4th or 5th. I think I got up to 4th, and I was like, we kept trying to get a run on the outside, but just couldn't get lined up. Couldn't get the right cars, in line. And then finally we were all able to get lined up, and I made the move to the outside and had sludge behind me. I think you were behind me. I think Robbie was behind me. I think
yeah, I was a lot down.
P. Cole, I think, was behind us too, I believe. And we jumped to the high side there and was able to get to the lead. And next thing you know, we're coming to the pit. We come out of the pit. I think we had like 7 or 8 laps to go, and me and Sludge was right there. I think Marley was right there. I think JWoww was there as well. So I think we had like 4 cars there, and I was like, you know what? If I can just keep it on the bottom and just keep these guys behind me, I think I got a good shot. And we had a late race caution there. It came out with like 2 to go or something like that. And I was like, oh man, I didn't want to see this because I didn't have the best takeoff gears. And we took off, and I had my captain behind me, and I knew I was hopefully was going to be in good shape, and he'd stay behind me and ride me. And we hit the white flag, and I was like, if I can just keep it on the bottom and don't make a mistake. And I seen Marley and I seen JWoww jump to the top, and I'm like, either my captain's gonna have to block or I'm gonna have to block one. It's gonna be one of the two. So we kind of held them off there, and I was able to come home with the victory. And I'm so proud of myself, man. And I know my guys back in FTR was so proud as well. I got tons of messages from those guys because I've always run really good at Talladega. I just seem to find the right spot at the right time. And being on low draft, this track's hard enough to win on as it is, and to win on low draft against this field I was very happy, man. I was stoked.
Yeah, absolutely. You did a great job. And again, Blaney, we're going to get to you here in just a second, but 8 Customs, you guys are getting ready to head to Las Vegas this week. Of course, myself included there. With that win that you had Thursday night, I don't know if you knew this or not, but that makes the car number that you're driving is the 37 car. That is the second most winningest number in all of GC Sports with 8 wins now. I've got 5 of them. JCR McLovin has 2 of them, and you become the 3rd winner in the 37 car, and that is 8 wins now for that car. Follows Private Patton in his 12-21 combination with like 18 wins, so that's not even close. But second most winningest car in GC Sports. That's a good feat, and you definitely got some shoes to be filling there in that car. And of course, Billy, it's always good to talk to you. And again, to the viewers at home, Billy will be sticking around for that 5-10 minute Q&A at the end. We're trying to get along. We have 2 more leagues to discuss. Jason Blaney in here. He's going to be talking to you about a weekend recap for the Fueled Up Motorsports. Blaney, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Daddy. How you doing?
Absolutely wonderful here. This is our first time doing this, so hopefully this is going pretty good. Time's kind of slipping by us, but we're, trying to get through everybody. Blaney, you run the Fueled Up Motorsports. You guys have console racing as well as iRacing. Is that correct?
Yep, correct. Do a lot on Heat 5 for the PS4 side. We've also, within the past 5 months, gotten our Fueled Up Motorsports, our team aspect, over into iRacing, and getting a lot of exposure out there. Met a lot of good people that are allowing, Fueled Up guys and people that we find along the way from different leagues a good opportunity to grow as a race car driver. That being said, last weekend, Cherokee GP was fortunate enough to give our Fueled Up guys a ride and a experience in endurance racing for the first ever time. So it was a very good experience, and I appreciate Clayton Hardy for allowing the opportunity for us to, off the rip, our first go at it, get a iRacing 24-hour win. So that was really exciting to see. And the teamwork come together.
Yeah, and you guys didn't just win that race, but you came from 4 laps down. Is that an accurate statement?
Yeah, I had more of the middle stints of the day. I think my first stint was at like 3 o'clock to 5 something, and then I ended up getting in the car from 9 to 11 p.m. So I slept in a little bit, got my sleep, and Caitlin Renee and Clayton Hardy had the first 2 stints of the race. We went green at 8 a.m. on the 22nd, and got going. It was about an hour before my stint. I got online, and we were up 2 laps, so it was looking really good. We qualified on pole with like a 1:32.8, which is really fast for the split that we were in. Having a really good. We were LMP2, running the P2 on 7.
I wanted to do the 24, but there's no way I could.
Yeah, it takes a lot of teamwork and a lot of caffeine, man. It's an experience for sure.
Go ahead. Sorry. Keep going. I just want to know what class you were all running because I think I saw this on one of the on Facebook iRacing communities.
Yeah, we definitely made a post a few days ago about that update. But yeah, we were 2 laps up. Caitlin, that put us on pole. She was probably the fastest of the team. She's a really good driver. Really puts her head down, doesn't get caught up on the big, on the small things, and just tries to get us back into it. She came back for her second stint, and she had to recalibrate her pedals. She didn't know that Fanatec had an update, and she rolled out of pit lane, and her brakes didn't work other than maybe 5% brake pressure. And knowing her, she was coming out of the gate hot. She was ready to put down some fast laps, and got into the first horseshoe coming off pit lane and ran it right into the tire wall, which left us with about 10 minutes of repair. And we were still up 2 laps at that point, but after the repairs were done and we ended up re-exiting pit road again after all the damage was repaired, we ended up falling down to 4 laps down with about 10 hours left. So we thought our hopes were kind of locked up, and it was really stressful here trying to have it in. We thought we had it in the bag. I mean, we're 2 laps ahead. That's a lot of distance, but anything can change within a 24-hour race. It takes one corner to completely flip it upside down. And luckily, with about we were riding for about 4 hours, maybe just under 7, maybe 6 hours to go. The leader that passed us when we had the issue ended up hitting the tire wall going into turn 1, going into the infield. And once we saw that happen, we were like, all right, man, it's time to go. It's really time to go. And just we kept keeping the pace and making sure we kept the car clean. And we ended up winning by, it was 38 seconds at the end of the 24 hours. But the only reason there was 36 or 38 seconds is because with our repairs, it kind of put us on a different fuel strategy where the car that was in second place that we just had passed had to pit one more time for fuel, and we were able to limp it to the finish line. If not, it would have been maybe a 5-second gap to the end, which is it was up and down. It was so much hope and so much regret all in one point, but I'm glad it worked out, and it was a really good experience for sure for the field up guys, and just the experience of being able to do something as in-depth in that. It's something I'll do over and over again, man.
Congratulations on that win, because not only is that a testament of the race, but like you guys said, a testament to yourself not to get down on yourself, especially with something that wasn't her fault. Technology issues happen. Something like that happened to me Monday night. Actually, I went to get in my race, and next thing you know, I had to recalibrate everything too, and I'm really late. But so you keep a mindset, focus, and keep yourself upbeat and stuff like that. Very cool, and it's a very big deal too, because I know a lot of people did that 24-hour race.
Yeah, there's a lot of cars, a lot of splits. I mean, our lobby had, I think it was 46 drivers through 2 classes through GTD and LMP2, but we also had a second car that we charted off of Cherokee GP that was actually the field upside. It had all of our sponsors and everything that supported us throughout our PlayStation side on our next gen series that we run, and also now going to be supporting us in an IndyCar league that's coming up. They got on board, gave us a different car, gave some more guys an opportunity to run, which was Nate Line, his spotter Stephen Harris. They had a good duo for the big portion of it. We had JWoww, which is here right now. He was part of that car also. Matt Montgomery, Coach Matt, for the PlayStation guys might know who he is, and a guy Wesley Jeanette from our next gen league he's primarily iRacing driver, but they ended up finishing 9th in class. They had a mix-up on their start time. They were supposed to start with us, but issues happened with the registration, so they were pushed back about 4 hours to the next split at the 11 a.m. and their time stints were all figured out. I mean, everyone was good, and once it got pushed back in a certain amount of hours, it went into people's unavailability time. So they were kind of on their own to say, hey, if you're here, hop in the race car type of thing. So to be able to have all those hiccups and issues on the track and everything, and a lot of these guys are just primarily ovals, so getting onto a road course with a car that is not by any means easy to drive and pulling off a top 10 in their first experience at a 24 and endurance races. Something to look up for too, considering that the team that let us ride for Cherokee GP, I mean, the first time that they ran, it was back in 2019 was their first run at it. They finished 18th in class as their first time. So to say they pulled a top 10 on their first time with almost no road racing experience, or at least not a lot for a long time, it's impressive for sure.
Especially going from the oval to the road course, like you were saying. I enjoy all disciplines over there. I know Taddy's got to get going here, but especially if you don't have a GT style wheel, and then you're going from a a stock car or something like that to those sports cars. The turning radius is very you don't have to turn that wheel very much, and it's to adapt to that is in that quick of a time too is a big deal.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I mean, you tweak it just a little bit enough trying to correct it, and it's not happy. So you're really on edge just trying to keep the wheel straight and use the traction control as much as it'll let you use. And another thing with those cars that we aren't all used to is you have to brake in a straight line. I mean, if you're not braking in a straight line and you're trying to dive while turning, the car goes right around. So that's another thing you have to retrain yourself going into these high, fast corners into hairpins and stuff. Like, you cannot dive down until you're in the gear you need to be in. So.
Yeah, we definitely the iRacing side and the struggles there, but coming home victorious in a 24-hour race like that, I mean, that's remarkable and crazy for sure. For this segment, we're running down to about 3-4 minutes. Blaney, I know that your console side of the Fueled Up Motorsports just got going this week. You guys were at a super speedway this week, and it's your first race of many. In a money league of all things, a little bit different than what we do on the GC side, is it's all free. Same with FTR, it's all free. But if you wanted to give a quick rundown of your console side, again, we're down to 3-4 minutes here on this segment, as we got one more league to go, and I know Puddin wants to get to the Bengals game, so I got to bring it back over to you, Blaney.
Absolutely. Fuel Up Cup Series on PlayStation, which is now the Venue Radio Cup Series. Landed a sponsorship in the off season to be able to support us on our endeavors and be able to give something that these guys want to show up for. Something that me and Nate, co-owners of Fueled Up, we really tried to get onto is finding a non-toxic place that people can really get a place that they can have the dedication that they're not going to have 30 people on week 1 and by week 3 have 15, or people just give up. Money aspect, it's a lot more serious. It's less BS. I mean, people are ready to race, and I think it's allowed us to have a structured environment. But the thing what we tried to do here, man, is we've had this run around the leagues that we just haven't been able to find home, and something that's not ran right with admins and whatnot. And there's a lot of people that race sim. There's a casual racer that races it, get his mind off life, just play a video game for a little while. And then there's some people that they do want to race because it's the closest thing that they've ever been able to get to without being in a real race car, versus for circumstances of financially, their opportunity, their age. They just don't have the exposure to race in real life. So we wanted to be able to bring drivers a place where they can put money investment, time investment, and race like they're at the track to as close as they possibly can. So that's the goal there. Obviously something to race for too. I mean, you put in your investment, there's hope to make money back, and a lot of people don't do it for money, and that's not really what the whole buy-in is for. It's really the commitment aspect, but it makes it a lot more reason to show up and race the best you can every week if there's something that you're racing for. So we kicked off at Daytona last week on Monday, or earlier on Monday this week, and it was a good race. Obviously, new guys coming back and forth. It's still that acclimatization period that you have with every league, trying to have people, trust each other, make a high line work, teamwork aspect. These guys got drafted into the team a week before opening day. They've had maybe one team practice so far, which we are super team oriented, allowing the community to stay together. Teamwork's always a big thing. Setups are all over the place in this game at this point, so if you can help people where they're at to make a close race, and being able to, obviously there's a situation you got to keep that competitive edge, but we're not the type of people to let someone just ride 6 laps back because all they needed was the setup. I'd rather have to, battle you on the high side type of thing. So we're all connected, all making sure that we're all squared away so we get the viewers and, the league in general, competitive and good racing also. So we're just going to keep moving.
To go with that fact, right, you were talking about how different things make these people want to be competitive. I know I, for one, somebody that used to race cars, and maybe, like you said, financially or moving locations, something like that, you just you don't have a car right now, and so you're not racing, and so it's kind of like days past, right? Like, you want to get in and be as competitive as possible. And something a little different that you guys offer than, like, for example, GC Sports, because it's the money aspect of it, you're getting a lot more different style racing. You're not seeing the typical dive bombs that these guys are like, who cares, there's nothing on the line, right? You're going to see a lot cleaner racing throughout just about every lap, simply because nobody wants to make those moves and cost them. Nobody wants to cost themselves some damage or something like that, when they actually have their own pocket money on the line. So you guys are doing a great job over there with Fueled Up, and you guys race at Bristol actually tomorrow night. Of course, I'll be there as well in my number 4 Ford Mustang for the WFO racing team. But with that said, we're GC Sports. We're trying to work with you guys there to any of the Fueled Up drivers that are interested. Of course, we have the C Custom race tonight is at Bristol, so if anybody needed some last minute fine tunes on their setup, we've opened the door to your guys to be able to come in for a one-off type race. It just happened to fall in line pretty good that way that we're at Bristol, and so are you guys. So Blaney, per usual, thanks for coming in and talking about Fueled Up and all the great things you guys have going on. It's up to you. I'm going to talk about one more league, then we're going to open up for a Q&A for the next for about 5 minutes or so. Then we'll be ending. But last league I need to talk about Friday nights. Actually, they have a Sunday night league as well with their truck series, but Friday nights is when they do most of their racing, and that is the Cobra Kai Racing League. This is a slider only league. Friday nights, Sunday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. Last week they raced at Las Vegas, the winners of that, and now, mind you, their truck series is open to any driver in their league. So they have a separation between Xfinity and Cup that kind of separates the talent level. However, on Sundays it's open the door to anybody, including people that don't race in the Xfinity or Cup, just open to anybody that's able to race. But Big Jim becomes home victorious last week at Las Vegas, followed by GTR Mike and GTR Picola, two guys that used to run here at GC Sports. Definitely top names. That's good caliber drivers right there. Big Jim, Mike, Picola, crazy. It was a crazy action-packed race that finished under some green flag runs. Tonight the trucks test the 3 turns of Pocono, so those guys are headed to a difficult track tonight. They have their Xfinity series. They run team racing there, so if you start in the Xfinity series because you weren't there at the draft or you were undrafted, you can prove your way and let a captain drop a driver, maybe pick you up, waiver wire type issues there. However, if you start in the Xfinity series and earn your points in the Xfinity series and you're drafted to the Cup, you still get to race the rest of the season in the Xfinity series to try to win that title. With that said, this week Robbie Racing, it was his first time in their league. They race the Xfinity Series Friday nights at 8 Eastern. They were at Pocono. Mike G, one of the Cup regulars, comes home victorious. Robbie Racing P2 in his first ever race there, and points leader Monster Racing comes home P3. The series continues to put on a hell of a show. Rookies, veterans, all of the alike battling it out, not only for points but to be noticed for the chance at a Cup ride. And again, Robbie finishing P2 in his first race there. And then of course they went to Cup Series race and they start at 9:30 Eastern time frame. These are they have 25 drivers on track, and it got crazy. I for one, I know that there was a green-white checkered shootout. I restarted 18th, ended up in P5 simply because a lot of guys strategy-wise wanted to stay out with old tires because track position's huge when you have that many cars. And the finale came to Blakey T with the win, GTR Mike and RJ Smitty rounded. Yeah, they round out your top 3. RJ Smitty got third. The series has been action-packed and aggressive the last few weeks as the Cup Series fought hard for every inch at the tricky triangle. Next week, the series visits Bristol. Yet again, another Bristol race. 4 races left before the playoffs. So, Cobra Kai Racing, that's Old Man Butters, Let Loose, Long Live the Sauce, GTR BD. Get a hold of these guys. Or it's not Let Loose anymore. It's Loosey Goosey, I think. But get a hold of these guys if you guys are interested in running on those nights. With that said, we're running into that time frame right now. It's about 2:55 Eastern time frame at 3 Eastern. The Bengals and Chiefs are going to kick off. So we're going to open it up right now. We're going to go with the 5 minutes on the clock starting now. YouTube full of question and Q&A here. If you guys got any questions, wanting to join one of these leagues, now's the time to put it out there in the YouTube so we can get that noticed. And really, Puddin', yourself, Blaney, I think Billy, you're still in here. Nate's in here for Fueled Up. I'm not sure who else is in the chat. I don't want to blue screen to check it, but right here kind of is where you guys can kind of just add, kind of talk amongst yourselves, and I'll be checking out the YouTube and see if any questions come in.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the last thing I want to say is I don't know how much this happens elsewhere, but we just talked about JCR as a team. We talked about the FTR Racing League. We talked about Misfits Racing League. We talked about Cobra Kai. We talked about Fueled Up, GC Sports, to even think about.
And to listen to all the same names and recognizable names that have
Right,
raced
and that's what we're trying to build here. We're trying to build a non-toxic community. Blaney nailed it on the head. There's just no reason for it. You guys, you want to race places that there's non-toxicity. That's what we're trying to build. Any one of the leagues that was talked about here today in the Giggity Get Down episode number 1. That's what we're here for. We want you guys to be able to run. The more laps you put in together around each other, the better overall driver you're going to be. So GC Sports 100% supports every league here. And honestly, if you guys have another league, if maybe there's a viewer out there on YouTube that we didn't talk about another league that you race in, and you think they deserve some talking, have one of the admins, one of the owners get a hold of us, and we can give them a little bit of time on air as well. We're here to build the community, not just ourselves.
Exactly, and I think you hit the nail on the head. You know, it's all about, at the end of the day, it's all about having fun and making friends and working with each other. That's what it's all about, in my opinion. You know, that's kind of what we base FTR off of. Is everybody in here is family oriented. You know, we all get along, we all cut up, we have a good time during the week. You know, we practice during the week. You know, I challenge my A guys to work with the B guys to try to make those guys better and get them ready for the A group. You know, it's what it's all about at the end of the day, just having fun, being competitive, and doing what you do, what you love to do.
And actually, I'm glad you brought that up. Something I wanted to bring up here on the stream and I almost forgot. So GC Sports, of course, GC Sports, this is our YouTube, right? But next season, we're looking at doing a single season per year now. And GC Sports is trying to break people off into teams. We don't want a big team of 12, 20 people per team, right? We're still looking at having a high car count, 28 to 30 drivers on the top series, the A group. But we have about 12 to 13 captains as of right now that'll be drafting their drivers. Now, this is to include the C group drivers that are going to be drafted. And the goal here is to get 4 or 5 guys that are going to work together. And maybe you're an A guy, maybe you're a pro league talented driver. We're hoping that you're going to work with a guy that just bought the game 2 weeks ago. Not that that is really the scenario.
I hope not.
Right?
I hope you
Not that that's the scenario, right? But somebody that's a little bit more of a rookie talented level, and maybe help them, show them your wheel or controller settings, and help with setups, and show how you run these tracks on lines. And at the end of the day, the goal is to put everybody at the top potential that driver has. There's no reason that if somebody could be one of the best drivers, unlike Puddin will never get there, but there are drivers that are struggling right now that just quick little adjustments on how they run tracks or how they use their tire wear. Maybe they don't understand that yet. You fix those little problems, and all of a sudden they're some of the best drivers in the game. And I've seen it happen over and over again that's the scenario. And so that's kind of what we're looking for. And I know Fueled Up does a kind of along the same lines. They have teams of smaller groups where everybody kind of works together amongst their team and tries to improve each other. Yes, you want your team to be the best, but at the end of the day, you're also trying to improve the overall racing of your group. And at the end of the day, that's the goal.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Exactly. I mean, it's just you have to realize. I mean, within our aspect, if there would be no community without the drivers that fill it, and we're fortunate to be the ones that are seasoned and have a good grip on the way things work. But I always kind of come down to think of it as there was some day, and all of us have been racing from the previous heat games, but there was a certain point in time when I think all of us just had no idea what to do with setups or how to get better, and there was a guy that had to come across the line at some point with your endeavors on growing as a racer, and that's helped you get better and give you some tips. So it's kind of just down the grapevine. If someone helps you, you help another person, and in hopes that you could have that same growth from a driver. And that's a big portion of the help that I feel like the community needs, is just a helping hand. And it's cool to see leagues that have the same mindset, for sure.
Yeah, and again, we're all here to support each other. Yes, everybody's goal in mind is to make their own league one of the best, if not the best. But the overall objective is to make the community better, and everybody's doing a great job.
Just want good, clean product.
Yeah,
that's what you want to put out there.
And the more everybody races with each other, the better. And I always say when we start these YouTubes, if we can get one person interested or a new subscriber, the better, right? And as of today, you know, we did this deal. Nubby's out there in YouTube land. He's going to be making his return back to GC Sports tonight, so it worked. He's seen the broadcast, and we got a return driver coming back. And Nub's actually one of the better drivers that he just a lot of people don't even realize his leagues are still going on without notification. So for myself, this is Aquatati for GC Sports. We have Billy Holcomb in here with FTR, Jason Blaney, and Nate Line, which Nate was a little occupied today on the phone, but for Fueled Up Motorsports. We talked about Misfits. We talked about Cobra Kai. JWoww came in here to talk about his team that does iRacing, as well as some league racing on Heat 5. Hopefully I can get Nascar with Timac in by next week. Maybe another league or two in here. But from everybody that you heard here today, this has been your Giggity Get Down, episode number 1. Tune in next week for episode number 2. And again, you heard leagues that are running tonight. GC Sports has our C Custom and our C Slider starting tonight at around, I think it's 6 Eastern time zone. So tune in, guys. Yeah, it should be a blast. And Billy, I think you said you guys got a group on Sunday. Misfits got a group on Sunday. Cobra Kai's got their truck racing tonight. So tune in and check out everybody's racing. We're here for each other, and thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, and thank you, Teddy, for the opportunity.
Yep.